Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa
Alaikum salam.
barakatuhu. So I can't take the name of all right from the first speaker, but I can say Revered Sheikh Nizamuddin Sahab. It's a great pleasure to be with you on this occasion. I shall begin by taking two names, Girolamo Ghillini, an Italian, and a Gottfried Eckenwell of German, uh, this uh, country. Uh, as regards Girolamo, he is famous for using statistics in 1589, and Gottfried used it in 1749. I'm doing it with a purpose. Uh, and then there are others, maybe might be before that also people have used it. But my worry is that when we use statistics, we take it as a trend. It's a trend. As students have to write a dissertation in some university or a thesis in some university, and they collect some data, tabulate it, present it in certain blocks, and that becomes a very picturesque scene, and then that's all satisfaction, and that qualifies a person for a degree. I believe that iOS is doing it differently. It has a purpose, and it has a context, and that's very important. So when the uh, people who first use it started using collection of facts, realities. They had definitely the same purposed plan, but there was something which is not generally talked about, is separate. You know, when there is a transformation of thought, one is narration of certain worries and concerns, and then getting to mathematical assertion of facts, and then there is a concern to resolve them. That's very important. So what we have to do in India is that we have to bring in that concern, that it's not merely the establishment of a department of statistical information at government level or at different institutional levels, but it has to be in the context of looking to the facts, realities, and then taking the measures. And they must incentivize. That's very important. And that's how I may say, even our census, that's like that. Why do we have it? Why do we have plans or for particular periods? What I want is that institute on its own found it necessary to produce yearbooks giving the statistics, but the purpose is to incentivize. The purpose is to activate, and purpose is to rise and get to the work which is required to be done. Uh, Somewhere an academician has to find out, get worried, and find out the reasons, and then find out the ways to go forward, and then find out the challenges what are there. So it cannot be merely an expression of woes and worries. It has to be an expression of the realities, challenges, and also uh, uh, creation of some vigor and then going ahead with the achievement of the goals. Number one. Number two, I would say that context should not always now be any committee or any this thing, because every day much water flows down Ganges, and there is always a new situation. So we have to be also conscious of the limitations of different studies. Might be the study done earlier and quoted frequently, and then might be there could have been a different study, and then there can be different language uh, in which the things could be expressed, and then there could be a different context that could be created for incentivizing the minds for future action. So I don't think there is need to hang over somewhere. There is need for liberate thought, mind, study, understanding, planning, and get to the realities as such. What is there? What is needed at this particular moment of time? And then uh, certain words, they become very, biblical for certain people. I think that has to be avoided. Like something backward, like something only lost in this thing and that thing, that thing. It's not. So it would be quite important, if not to go to primary, but there is a lot of secondary data as we do it. But on that basis, there can be good planning, there can be good engagement of the people, there can be a good kind of action, there can be very good results also. So that cannot be ignored. And then there I will talk of two important things. One is that during the whole talk which was done, there was not an express reference to fundamental right to education. And second, there was not any reference to leadership, which is very important. Leadership in promotion of education, particularly. So all these statistics must definitely be expressly related to state action. State action, not any kind of situational or for a particular person. When we talk of education as a fundamental right, then any person born in a juggi or in a palace in India has a fundamental right to education. So how how action has been taken so far to actualize this right and given it to the people, and how it has been implemented and what resources were used, and then even without dubbing, people community wise, caste wise, region wise, one may be born in any remote in any border area. He has a fundamental right to education. So statistically there should be an evaluation what measures were taken to bring home the fundamental right to education to every person. It is available to every person, not only citizens, all persons. And this right has to be, whoever is here. So from that's definitely confined up to the age of 14 years. But if somebody is taught well and he is given this right in its right perspective at the age of 14, he will never stop from going ahead. So The studies cannot be merely in the context having in mind that probably a particular community is backward. Probably they are not focusing on education. Probably they are not. No. I think this mindset has to change. There has to be focus, has to be that how much action has been taken by the state in bringing home right to education to any person who is an Indian. And if that is not done, then definitely you are wondering, you know, what people do, what others do. Where is the system? Where is then the mechanism? And that can be, other initiatives. They can be supplementary. They can be additional. They can bring more that quality into the things. But the minimum has to be seen right from the state responsibility for giving education to every citizen, what has been done so far. And it has to be pointed out that how many middle schools, primary schools, what is what are the facilities there? That needs to be more and more emphasized. And at the same time, when I talk of leadership, the issues uh, before the leaders must be the same. Educational, they must be about the policies, they must be about this, facilities, and rather than the vanity. Here, one has to be very much conscious of the fact that if all is available, then an enabling environment has to be created. Enabling environment. Enabling environment means something which is enshrined in the constitution itself, in the form of constitutional values of equality, values of fairness, and tolerance, fraternity, then while establishing and running the institutions for education at any level, it is a primary responsibility that for everyone there should be an enabling environment. And that enabling environment must ensure that everybody, every student, every child is feeling comfortable to go with others and study. Go ahead, find the opportunities. And that is very important, and statics has to come on it, that where this the state has failed in bringing in an enabling environment in institutions, and other things, as we see of all these things, principals, librarians, others, that should be a minimum. That's not that you are whether you have it or not. I think that's unfortunate. How can we think of a library without any kind of librarian? How can we think of a school without this, without any facilities? How can we think of it? I think the mindset of every Indian that should get constitutionalized. Institute of Objective Studies has, for the last 40 years, done the work to, bring in constitutional thinking and understanding. Have statics, have facts, but know the purpose is that we have to see the realities and then start working in this direction to have the better. So uh, uh, here, I think you are having public interest litigations on many things, but this is the minimum that every person has a fundamental right to education, born in India, or is in some way a child living in India. That is a fundamental right. So that minimum, I think that invites that there should be on this kind of thing, there should be this help should be taken from judiciary, and all the statistics should be used for that purpose. And then you have to get. I think that does not need much dubbing of communities. Also, much this categorizing also people unnecessarily. I think in any district there should be the minimum of the facilities. Why they are not there, and what action was taken, and how the leadership is thinking, and that may be political or otherwise, a social or whatever kind of leadership, how they are getting to these things. Institute of Objective Studies is giving you this statistics. They are giving you the literature. They are giving you the thought. They are giving you the idea. They are showing the way how to go ahead with the things for all living in India, abroad, and then having everything to be achieved constitutionally through in legitimate ways. So all these books which are being produced, they must be taken very seriously by leadership, by others and others, and they must plan in this way that how to achieve the minimum. It was long back in 1992 when Supreme Court of India declared right to education a fundamental right. It means anybody born can ask the state to give me education, and it's necessary. And in 1993, in another judgment, it was done. And in 2002, this Article 21A was inserted into the Constitution with the same thing. And then, the Act was passed in 2009 to implement. That was not to give the right, that was to implement effectively. I think statistics has to be conducted with reference to the mechanism which is given in, and then you can point out that there have been these lapses, and there have not been these initiatives, and that is for a citizen of India. That's for any person who is the son of the soil, and that's how I think things should go, and should one should work for everyone. And then when we have in focus the Muslim community, I would say one more thing to them. All that what I said is, relates to the system, relates to the mechanism, which is constitutionally approved, visualized, and has to be followed. But another thing is that why? Why should education not be there when you are in because if you I don't want to repeat it, but it has to be repeated. Uh, Otherwise, that when yours is ikra, study, then as you use oxygen, as you use water, as you want to dress yourself properly, as you want to have some food, as you want to have some social life, as you want to have some social relation, then you spend on, anything on that. More important is that you spend, and if you are not doing it, then you are deficient in faith. And I have no hesitation in saying it, because you cannot have any practice of faith without knowledge, and you cannot have without understanding the systems. You cannot have without imbibing the values. You cannot have it without sharing this all facilities with the people around you, or to whatever extent you can go. So there should be initiatives not for the establishment of my own school. Maybe it is for your this as a self-employment or anything, but there should be collective initiatives in localities so that everyone gets education minimum. That's very important. So this should be additional, I'll repeat it. And then if there is absence of any support from governments and others, that will not be this so much having the impact, but when you will do it, might be you will prove a better facilitator of education, not only for the people of your group, but also to others as well. And as regards the quality, because you have to be very much zealous, you have to be very much, keen, and you have to be very much, this concerned about it, and you have to prove yourself as doing with more seriousness, with more concern. So you have to do it, and then others will also look for your initiatives, your institutions, and that again I would say needs some leadership, selfless, and I think that's not impossible. That can happen, but I would say that without that, you cannot do it. Without that, it's not possible. So, all statistics will help you when you will develop that concern, when you will develop that kind of initiative and love for action. And that I believe all the iOS on statistics and studies about various groups of people in the country, they will definitely prove very useful in times to come. But now you have to do it with more concern, and it has to be done with more purposefulness, and then the results have to be evaluated from time to time, and preference has to be given to education which it's not getting that way. So I would say let all the this resources by way of any kind of commitment to public work, to this are religiously contributing to things out of the property you are having, that should converge and promote the system. And when in Surah Maun, God says that that those people who pray but they are in loss, uh, because they don't care about the needy neighbor. So needy neighbor does not mean only who is hungry. Needy means also who is uneducated, who is not able to acquire education, because that's more important than a morsel of food. A word of knowledge is more important than the morsel of food. So that's how we have to do it. We have to, you know, do things differently. And then I'll end up by saying that the education which you have to impart, it shall not always remain the same. I would say the fundamentals of faith and other things is all right. But I would say an education system has to be modified, developed, oriented, geared up, and made appropriate to the times. And that's how we can find that that's why you are wise. You have been given wisdom. You have been given mind. You have been given thought. You have been given ability to understand. and that has to be used. That what is required, and that's how I believe. And then I'll say that Muslims need not be in any way, in any kind of worry that way. As many people are giving examples of some other people from religions, but I can assert with confidence that still Muslims are the best. They are the biggest donators. They are the biggest welfare people, philanthropists, and there is definitely one can give examples. I don't object on that, but still I would say that that should not mean that you are not doing it. You are doing it. There are better ones, and I think that should be said. And people should stop, um, giving examples from a different context. No, there are many people. Yes, some kind of leadership, not only at one level but at different levels is required at social level, at grassroots level, and then economic sector, education sector, cultural sectors, other sectors, literary, as IUS has taken tahqiq research, so that all leadership has to grow. That should be appreciated also, and that's how we can have better statistics inshallah in coming days. And at the same time, I shall remember Dr. Muhammad Manzoor Alam Saab, the founder of the Institute of Objective Studies, that from that day to this day, we have progressed a lot. The world has changed a lot. That was a different world when IOS was established in 1986. The map of the world changed, and then its economy, economic systems, educational systems, technology came. All that has to be taken note of, and one has not to be lost in any particular kind of thing and hang over there. In the same way, the traditional education in India as madrasas, they are also working in a big way. They're also contributing in a big way, and their positive things have to be appreciated. And yes, some orientation is required. That's how. And the book, which is today, which has been released today, that shall prove very beneficial. And deficiencies are always there, but we should try to avoid them in the future volumes, and have the best we can produce. I'm grateful to Sheikh Nizamuddin Saab for remembering me and then calling me to speak. Otherwise, everybody had ignored me. As a president, I felt it. Thank you so much. Allah bless you. Allah bless you. Allah bless you.